Just like the PS4's GPU, which you can watch in a video up there, only after this video though, the HD 7790 launched slightly before the consoles, and in all fairness, this little GPU is basically better than the Xbox Ones in virtually every single aspect, apart from one major department: the memory. The console has 8GB of DDR3 memory, which is shared between both the CPU and GPU, as it's an APU layout on the console, whereas the Radeon cards only got a single gigabyte of GDDR5 memory, which is, as you probably know anything about GPUs, that's a bit rough in 2024, albeit though it is faster and it's dedicated, unlike the Xbox One. And because of that slightly, well, very anemic frame buffer, don't expect to see anything relatively modern in today's testing, for the most part. Speaking of which, I've done all of my benchmarking at 1080p today, as I've managed to get away with it in the games I've tested. All testing has been done in my Ryzen 5 7600 testing PC, which has 32GB of CL32 DDR5 memory, a Western Digital SN770 NVMe SSD, and an MSI X670E Tomahawk. I've done all of my testing on the legacy AMD drivers, as these seem to be the best for these older GCN graphics cards, and I've left it at its stock out of the box setting, so let's see how it gets on. I was thinking of starting off the benchmarks today with a bit of an OG game in Battlefield 4. This was a launch title on the Xbox One, or it was advertised quite a bit as being much better. So I wanted to test it today, and to be honest, I'm glad I did. I used the DirectX 11 API because Mantle just wouldn't work for some reason, but apparently Mantle does net you more frames. But yeah, 85 FPS and 70 FPS for the 1% low is better than absolute zero. On the medium preset, the game still looks quite good. The fact that it's on 1080p is a massive win, because the Xbox One was running this at 768p or 900p from what I can remember. Either way, this is an absolute win for this little GPU in my opinion. And the wins don't stop there though, because a much more modern competitive shooter in Fortnite runs very well on the performance API. You're set for a competitive experience, which I didn't really think I was going to be saying today, with 127 frames per second on average. Yeah, that 1% low isn't looking the greatest at under half the average frame rate, but Unreal Engine 5 is just an absolute stutterfest with traversal stutters, so yeah, you're going to be running into that, but for the most part it is quite playable. Skyrim Special Edition on the low preset runs totally fine at 60 FPS for the 1% low and the average, thanks to that engine lock, but to be honest, I think this is great performance. Yeah, it probably doesn't look as good as but double the frame rate is something I'll definitely take over that. Counter-Strike 2 is a game that can't be played on the Xbox One, but it can certainly be played on the HD 7790, because 80 FPS on average with a 1% low of 59 is relatively okay performance considering the age and the budget nature of this GPU. And if you wanted more frames, you could always enable FSR, which would definitely net you a bit more performance as well, so that's definitely a possibility. But the fact that this GPU can play CS2 is pretty impressive in my opinion. GTA 5 was a bit of a weird one today, because there was definitely much more performance in this graphics card, but the VRAM was letting it down. I had to put it onto the normal preset, which to be honest looks more like the Xbox 360 version of the game and not the Xbox One version, and that's thanks to the 1GB of frame buffer on this GPU. If it had like 4GB or even 3GB, we could get away with like the very high textures and put it onto the high preset. Yeah, you'd lose some FPS, but you'd still be getting quite a chunk of performance in this title if this GPU had a bit more VRAM. Rainbow Six Siege was a bit of a weird one. I was expecting a bit more frames in this game, but for some reason 52 FPS is all you're going to be getting out of this little GPU. 39 FPS for the 1% low it's okay, there's nothing to write home about there, but performance as a whole in Siege isn't really up to that competitive standard I like to set, so yeah, I'd give it a miss on this GPU. Something that looks absolutely brilliant though is Halo Master Chief Collection, even on something like the original API. Halo Reach runs very well in the firefight game mode, getting 100 plus FPS with a nice 1% low of 79, so you're going to be getting some really good performance here, and I suspect you could probably even get away with the enhanced preset depending on what the VRAM's going to be saying here. But yeah, in this Xbox game, the 7790's done an incredibly good job here. I'm going to be straight with you. Not a terrible showing from this little graphics card. Yes, I've tested much better value and much just better overall GPUs here on the channel, but I'll be honest, I'm actually quite impressed with this little graphics card. If you look at titles like Skyrim and like Battlefield 4, which is still an insanely popular game and I play it quite a lot, the 7790 is putting up a decent fight in these. Yes, you're not going to be getting like 144 FPS at like 1440p. You're not going to do that on a GPU as old as this and as cheap as this because it only goes for like 20 quid. However, the main thing is though, I suspect it's performing quite a bit better than the Xbox One, and that's probably down to my CPU and my test bench, because the biggest problem with the Xbox One was its CPU. It was absolutely terrible. And yes, admittedly, I did test games like Skyrim on the low preset, but that netted easily 60 FPS, and this is the great thing about PC gaming. You have full control over the settings you're going to use, so if you want 60 FPS in that title, you can lower all the settings and GPUs like this will just handle it. And speaking of changing settings around, you can get a relatively competitive gaming experience in Fortnite. On the Xbox One, you're locked to whatever the developers want you to use. But with this, you can put it onto all low on the performance API and you can still get some relatively decent frame rates, which I consider to be somewhat competitive. Well, a lot better than the Xbox One's frame rate, for instance. And then there's Counter-Strike 2, which is a game that just isn't on the Xbox One, so that's an automatic win here. And the fact that you're getting a relatively okay frame rate is, well, it's just a cherry on top, isn't it? Yeah, I know the CPU is probably doing quite a bit of pulling in these titles, but if you were to pair this with something like, I don't know, like a 4th gen i5 or like a 4th gen Xeon or something, you can pick these up for incredibly cheap prices and they're much better than the Xbox One's CPU as well, so not bad. As for budget retro cards go, the 7790 is really not that bad and it's impressed me quite a bit today. 10 years ago, I would have absolutely loved gaming performance from this GPU because I was stuck on like a GT 210. Yeah, I know that graphics card was absolutely terrible. But regardless, if you wanted sort of like a retro gaming PC with an old GCN graphics card like this, I mean, it's not too bad. But you might be better off getting the PS4's GPU, which has 2GB of VRAM, and it's slightly faster than this. And yeah, it's the same price as well, so you can watch that in the video up there. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Much better than the Xbox One. GG HD 7790.